Hello everybody and welcome to The Binding of Isaac, episode 2. Today we're going to play as Isaac. Because, I like Isaac. And we found the item room right away. Along with some evil fires that will shoot at me. And also a curse trip. There we have the Anarchist Cookbook, which will summon a bunch of bombs when used. It's not really too good as far as space bar items go. I would take it if I didn't have the D6, but since I have the D6, I'm going to re-roll it. And that is Brother Bombi. Arguably the least useful of the familiars. And I'm going to go ahead and go into the first room. Guppy's head. Alright. Guppy's head will summon a couple, 3 to 4 blue attack flies, which do twice our base damage. Which is useful. It's not that great at this point in time since our base damage isn't super high. And it is a space bar item, so I don't really want to take it. I think what I'm likely going to do though is take Brother Bombi and try to reroll up his head. It's a bit risky because I have to go back into the cursed room, but I think it could work. There's a serious chance of us getting another Guppy item, which could be very interesting. If you acquire 3 different Guppy items, you can turn into Guppy himself, which is exciting. And if we get to that point, I'll explain exactly what that does. But needless to say, it's quite powerful. Oh, that was bad damage to take. Hopefully Pin here gives us some hearts back. Otherwise, going into the cursed room is going to be a bit of a risky proposition. Okay, give us a speed upgrade, which I'll take one of, I think. It's not so bad that I'm not going to take just one. And I'll also go take Brother Bombi. And I'm going to reroll Guppy's head. So, Lucky Foot, interesting. Not going to pass on it. Lucky Foot will make it so we have a much higher chance of winning at gambling, and we will no longer have any bad pills, just positive or neutral ones. So, the secret room is right here, so you can tell because in the cursed room there was another door, and if the cursed room is adjacent to the secret room, it will allow you to go in at the cost of taking some damage. Okay, now we're in an interesting situation because we have 15 cents and 1 key, so going to the shop is probably worthwhile. You may be able to pick up something nice. Like Mom's Purse. Mom's Purse is a pretty good item. It allows us to hold 2 trinkets, which has some interesting uses, but in particular allows you to hold a trinket and the Polaroid. And you need the Polaroid if you want to go down to the chest, which I do. I do want to go to the chest because, well, I mean, it's the final level of the game. So, getting there is the ultimate goal, you could say. We have a Tented Rock in here, which is nice. And another cursed room. Obviously don't want to go to the cursed room yet, because, well, I only have half a heart, so it would almost certainly kill me. We have 2 soul hearts, which is interesting. Makes the cursed room a little more interesting anyways. Just spiders, unfortunately. I am trying to rack up any advantages when I can. I think we have enough health to be safe right now, but getting some red hearts would not be unappreciated, to say the least. So, Claudius, the red meat thing. A little bit of an annoying enemy. Especially if you don't have super high damage. Not too bad, as long as you're patient. So nothing to re-roll right now. Sadly, we don't have any keys. So we're probably not going to get too many re-rolls on this floor because we've already gone through several rooms. Okay, that was really bad damage to take. Yeah, so we're in a very risky position. One of the most risky positions you can actually be in. But we did just get a key, which could turn things around here. We do have a re-roll ready to go. We may be able to earn one more. It's kind of unlikely, I would say, but it's possible. The hourglass. The hourglass is not really a good item. It'll slow everything in the room for like 8 to 10 seconds. The relic is an interesting item. That's not the relic, that's the Celtic Cross. Gives you about a 35% chance to gain, I believe, 7 seconds of invincibility when you take damage. It's pretty good overall. Wouldn't really help us right now because we would die if we take another hit, so it's not immediately appealing, but I may end up taking it. In fact, I would say I probably will. We really need to get some red hearts because I think we're probably going to have to do the boss with half a heart, which is scary. Now we could try to go into the shop and buy a red heart because they're only 3 cents. But that is fairly risky. But I think it's probably the wisest thing to do right now. Oh, it's not good luck. No red heart for sale, unfortunately, so we're gonna have to play really well here. If I die this early on, I'll just restart and do another run. It's not a huge deal. This is Famine, the normal one, so summon a bunch of flies. He'll charge at us if we get parallel to him, essentially. He has a second phase. The real trick to the first phase is just to deal with those flies appropriately. And if he charges, he can kill his own flies, so that's a good trick to keep in mind. Now he's summoning a lot of those double shot flies, which scares me a little. They're a little bit trickier to dodge. Okay. Now in theory I should be able to get through this, but now anything can happen. Hopefully Famine gives us some health. Yes, very good. Alright, now really hoping we don't get Krampus here. Okay. Interesting stuff. Unfortunately I can't re-roll anything. The nail is interesting. Would give us a spirit heart every 6 rooms. A bit of damage when it's active, and also the ability to break all rocks when we walk over. And I think it also gives a speed boost as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. It's better than the Book of Revelations as far as spirit heart generators go, just because it gives you that added damage boost and the ability to break rocks. I think we'll do it. We're not really doing well on health, and yeah, it does mean we have to give up the D6, which is not ideal, but I feel like we're not really in a great position to not take it, essentially. I'm not sure how solid the damage boost is here. It may be really good. They give us red tears, but that may be a cosmetic effect. Oftentimes it means you have at least +2 damage, working off your base damage of 3.5. But in this case, it may just be a cosmetic effect of the tear that the nail causes. I'm not sure. Okay, this room could be tricky. Should be able to get through it though. Okay, doing well, doing well. So the nail has nice Eternal Heart. Okay. So the nail has some interesting implications if we can get something like the Habit, the 9-volt, the battery, because that means we'll get higher Spirit Heart generation overall, and also more damage boosts, which is nice. One of the advantages, in my opinion, that the nail has over the Book of Revelations is that is that you don't. It doesn't summon Horsemen of the Apocalypse for you to fight, so you don't have to end up with just so many cubes of meat. And oftentimes it's best to just get 2 cubes of meat and not really worry about getting any more. So this is Monster's Tooth, another spacebar item. It's basically just summons Monster to slam down on enemies and yourself if you're in the way. It's really, I have to take that, I guess. It's really not the best, but that is the risk of dropping the D6, I suppose. And we did have to drop it fairly early, which is always sort of problematic. And again, taking this damage is pretty bad. You can see the Celtic Cross working there, doing us good work. I should have gotten more aggressive when the Celtic Cross was active. We can go into the library, but the odds of us getting it to go to the item pool is fairly low, especially since we do not have the D6 anymore. So I don't really regret taking the D6, but I don't really regret taking the nail per se, but having to drop the D6 that early is always a little bit risky, I suppose. I'm just going to touch those to get them out of the library rotation, essentially, in case we happen to find just an absolute shit ton of libraries, which is possible, if not incredibly likely. Okay, really probably deserved to take damage there, but I'm not going to argue with it. Alright, got another nail charge back, so that's another spirit heart for us. And a bit of extra damage. Perhaps a case to be made for giving up one charge of the nail and saving it for the boss, especially since we don't have any real other source of damage besides Brother Bobby. And maybe you would be right in that case, but I guess I wasn't really thinking about it. So we have to try and not take 1.5 soul hearts damage here. The Husk, I think he's called. It's kind of like the Duke of Flies. This is a champion version. He doesn't summon enemies, I believe, at all, but he does move around quite quickly, and he does that spitting attack. It's actually kind of easier than the normal Husk, if you ask me, unless you do something stupid like that. He does summon enemies when he dies, as you can tell. Right, just gonna time my movement there. Alright, gotta kill these, basically like bullet hell bomb flies, I suppose you could call them. I'm sure they have an actual name, but I'm not sure what it is off the top of my head. 8 ball. Well, it's really not a good item. So basically, I know it says tears up, but it's actually just a shot speed up. Shot speed up is not really that great. We are going to go to the shop because there's a lot of good stuff we could get out of the shop. Anything from the habit to the compass to the 9 volt. I mean, all that stuff would be amazing. It's a candle. Oh, jeez. Alright, I cannot really justify taking a candle. We really just aren't in a position to take it. All of our advantages are pretty much... we're heavily invested into using the nail, basically. Alright, sorry about that. I'm back now. Let's move on to the next floor. We'll have 2 hearts, because we managed to keep that eternal heart. Curse of Darkness is unfortunate. Would love to go to that boss challenge room. Probably gonna go to the shop there, or it could be a library. I really can't tell because of the Curse of Darkness. It's probably a shop. It could be a library. Not super likely, but it's possible. Alright, it's a shop. No greed, which is good. Sadly, it's just the notched pickaxe, which will allow us to break 1 rock in a room. It's really, really bad. It's not very helpful at all. There are numerous better spacebar items in the game. The nail, in a way, can be seen as just a super notched pickaxe. So. I mean, it has very limited purpose in that you could theoretically break a single tinted rock if you didn't have a bomb, for whatever reason. I mean, I guess we've been kind of low on bombs in this game, for example. But that, I mean, you know, even Mr. Boom, the bomb spacebar item, is better for that, honestly. Or Kamikaze. The notch axe just really has very limited purpose. It really cannot be used to help your survivability in a direct way, or your damage, so just really not worth it in my book. Alright, so we have a knight here, and, well, somehow I shot through his face, which is cool with me. Envy, well worth using the nail against. Envy will split into multiple different sets of himself, basically. All the way down to a 4th mode, and my objective on this fight is to always try and focus on 1 set of heads at a time. Excuse me. So yeah, so you don't want to summon all the small heads at once usually, unless you have some incredible ability to crowd control, which I don't, so that's not really appealing. If you have something like Brimstone or maybe even like Dr. Fetus, you could theoretically just summon a whole bunch of them and it wouldn't be a huge deal. But in my case, it's pretty problematic in trying to do so. Alright, get through this, get through this. Almost done here. It's kind of a long fight too. I still say it's probably the hardest mini-boss overall. Outside of, you know, Super Envy, I suppose. Or perhaps Ultra Pride, but yeah. Alright, we have a cursed room here, which is interesting. Still have that Lucky Foot. Haven't really gotten a chance to use it yet. Hasn't really been any arcades for us to use, unfortunately. We haven't really gotten any pills either, so there have been some pills lying around, but I either had to buy them or have some kind of flying or ladder ability. Well, okay. So none of these pills can be bad. Tears up. Puberty. Well, that's... So, basically, we traded a soul heart for Tears Up and a little bit of knowledge about our pill rotation. We know what half of the pills in our rotation are now. So, probably worth it. It's just, you know, not really the best thing, I suppose. So we did find an arcade. Sadly, do not have the habit, or it would be a lot more appealing, really, because we could essentially turn all of our hearts into soul hearts right now. I guess I'm gonna go in anyways. Fortune Teller, which is rather appealing because we could get a nice amount of soul hearts going on. I may come back to that momentarily. Still need to find the item room, I think. That was weird. Surprised I didn't take damage. Okay, this room is a little scary. We don't really have high damage. We don't have piercing or spectrals here, so kind of have to take it slow and steady. Getting rid of those spitters is a good idea, I think. Alright, just gotta keep wandering around here. Found the item room. Chargers, a little scary, but if I just take it slow, it should be okay. In theory. Some damage ups would be nice. I would love like an all stats up. Just no more spacebar items. Like, I am very content with using the nail for the rest of the game. Little Chad is not really very good, but I mean he's okay, you know. Especially on a floor where we have a blood donation machine, which we do. So it's a little bit better than you might normally do. I'm gonna use the tower here. This really kind of sucks. Yeah, it actually worked pretty well. Yeah, so Little Chad will occasionally give us judgment. Little Chad will occasionally give us a half red heart, which is not bad. So, but it's not really gonna change the game for me either, which is, you know, something I need. I really don't have many advantages right now. Well, that wasn't worth a bomb. I'm gonna go in here. I realize I already went in here. I'm gonna play Judgment in here. So if Judgment gives us an item, it's a solid chance he will give us a deal with the devil item, or just dog food apparently. Yeah, like I said, there's a solid chance he would have given us a deal with the devil item or a deal with the angel item if that was the valid choice for the level, but he didn't. So I'm going to play the fortune teller machine for a little bit because we can't lose. I could use some trinkets because I do have Mom's Purse. We haven't really gotten to utilize that. The main thing, though, no, it broke way too soon. I had a good amount of money that I was looking forward to spending there, but alas. Yeah, I was looking to rack up some solid trinkets and get some soul hearts as well. curved horn or something like that would have been very nice. Just a little bit of damage up. Actually, quite a bit of damage up, I suppose it would have been. I'm gonna use the nail here. There's no reason not to. Breaking those rocks is probably not the best idea, I suppose. Okay, well, Polaroid invincibility. I guess I should get in there. Not Polaroid, but Celtic Cross. Yeah, I'll get in there and I'll let my cube of meat do a little bit of orbital damage. They do a surprising amount of damage. So you might as well use them if you have invincibility anyways. So I like to just do circle strafing here, basically. Some people like to go behind Gertie, and that's okay, but it does make you a bit vulnerable to the flies. Gertie himself, I believe, can't shoot you from behind if you're behind him, but it's much harder to see the flies and stuff when they're floating around, so it can be a problem. And I think this way is easy enough, so even with somewhat low damage like I have right now. So okay, so we did get a deal with the devil, and we did get some health, so we're in an okay position. The Pact, and also Horror Babylon. I could go really crazy and just take both. Go into permanent Horror Babylon state. You know what? That is really tempting to do. To the point that I think I'm gonna do it. Yeah, it's a little bit risky, but it gives us a huge amount of damage, as you can tell. A good tier increase, some soul hearts, speed increase. So what we really need now is a habit, basically. If we got the habit, we might actually be able to make this work, because we could take quite a bit more damage than we can right now. We do have a soul heart generator. We could use some more of those. The relic, the miter, anything that would give us more soul hearts. So yeah, hopefully the game, I mean, damage-wise, we're okay right now. What we need really is some sustainability. And we have a little bit in the form of the nail, but just the nail by itself is not really enough to get us to the game. Not really enough at all. We're gonna go into the shop. It's probably gonna be greed, but that's okay because that means the next floor is not gonna be greed. I'm really glad we didn't get an XL floor, by the way, because that would have sucked. Okay, take a little bit of damage there. That's okay. Just don't take any more, I guess. Whoa, he dropped a lot of money. Again, that's probably the most money I've ever seen Greed drop, to be honest. So, Blastus' room. Oh, okay. That is such an easy room for this stage of the game. No excuse to take damage. Oh well. So I have the red patch right now, which gives me a fairly small chance at gaining a bit of damage when I take damage. I don't really like it as a trinket, but you know, we haven't really seen any other trinkets, so. And it's not actually detrimental, so there's no reason not to have picked it up, I suppose. I don't really plan on taking damage, so. Ow. This room scares me a little. A lot, actually. We could take quite a bit of damage here that we really don't need to take. Trying to use the nail a little bit to get these guys to jump into particular positions. I don't think I'm doing the best job at that. But we're doing okay. I'd be happy if we can get through this room with just taking 1 point of damage, because this room is kind of an asshole. Justice. This is a soul heart, that's surprising. I might as well break all these. No reason to, I suppose. It's tempting to go into the curse room. I'm gonna pass for now, though. Oh, this room is not really gonna be easy either, unless I just run into them, take damage. So, you can see the red patch working here. It's all my skin disappeared. So I am hitting, you know, a little bit harder. Not necessarily a huge amount. I prefer the curved horn or the cancer trinkets as far as damaging trinkets go, but no, that's not helpful at all. Might as well just get rid of it. It is basically a purely neutral kill in the sense that it does basically nothing. I guess in that way it's kind of worse than neutral, because at least neutral pills like telepills or bombs or key have some situational uses, in the sense that they aren't always useful. Oh, this room again. Alright, getting through it. Sorry if the commentary's gotten a little bit, empty, I suppose. This is, a little bit scary. We don't have much going on as far as health is concerned. It's not really re-obtainable at this stage. So I'm really hoping this item room doesn't troll me, essentially. I need it to be something good. Or this run, maybe. Oh, that is really good. It's really, really good. But it's not actually what I was hoping for. Max's hit gives us a damage increase, extra knockback, and gives us 1.5 times as much damage. It's pretty cool. But, like I said, really doesn't help us in the one area where it really needed help. Like, our damage was pretty okay. It's a lot better now, obviously, but it was pretty good before. And I'm going to use the nail to get to this chest. Okay, some new pills. Bombs are key. Doesn't really make a difference to me. Telepills. Well, just got rid of my temperance card, which I didn't really want too badly anyways. I have a lot of money. So I'm looking forward to going to the cursed room. If we could find a... sorry, not the cursed room, the arcade and the shop, basically. If we could find a fortune teller, we may be able to turn this game around. If we could find a fortune teller that doesn't blow up in the first 3 uses, we might actually be able to just win on that alone, to be honest, because we have a lot of money and we would get a ton of soul hearts in all likelihood, because we can't lose because of the Lucky Foot. One of the main benefits of Lucky Foot is you absolutely cannot lose on the fortune teller anymore, which is great. Now I'm gonna check there for secret room. It's not there. Well, I guess I'll just save my bombs then. I kind of know where it probably is, but you know. Let's see if we can do monster. I have a bit of knockback, unfortunately, so it's probably not going to work in the long term. It's almost certainly not going to work in the long term. Probably deserve to take damage there. Let's be realistic. Yeah, so Max's head does add a bit of knockback, and so does shot speed from that magic 8 ball I picked up earlier. And sometimes I just won't pick up the magic 8 ball because it gives shot speed, but at that point I was kind of desperate for any and all advantages. Probably wasn't the best idea in retrospect. Well, range up, you know, it's not bad at all, I suppose, but it's really not great either. We'll be a little bit more survivable when we get the Polaroid because we have all soul hearts. Every time we take damage, we'll get half. Okay, well, we are in basically the worst position we could be in right now. One more hit, it's gonna take us down. Unfortunate. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that was unfortunate. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry this run was a bit shorter than the other ones, but sometimes that's just how it goes in Isaac. You can't win them all. Unless you're Cobalt Streak, I suppose. Peace, everybody.